on the ground. We're always in control. And
all right, as always, Dolphins number one, baby!
So fins up to all you guys. Thank you for being
I just want everybody to remember, we may not always agree on everything Miami Dolphins, but there's one thing we do agree on, is we are all Dolphin fans. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Real Talk Fins Talk. I'm your host, Steve Malloy, and joining me tonight, as always, Mr. Rob Mosley, a.k.a. Dolphins Thirsty. Rob, how you doing tonight, brother?
Doing great. Fins up to all the great Dolphin fans out there. Happy to be here, as always, on the Fins Talk Sports Network. Always fun, and I love being on my Dolphins Thirsty, dolphinthirsty.com, and my Dolphin Thirsty channel here on the YouTube. You guys are all great, making it fun to talk about the Miami Dolphins. We look forward every Tuesday night coming on here on the network. That was our new intro. Our great producer, man, he did a lot of great work, huh, Steve? That was really neat.
Great. I love it.
I like that new intro.
Yep, I love it. And everybody in the chat, thanks for joining us tonight. Please, as you're coming in, hit that like button, share with your friends, your families, your neighbors, and remember, we may not always agree everything Dolphins, but there's one thing we can agree on. We are all Dolphins.
That we are. And
so,
welcome,
Rob,
Moya. So, yes, we are, Steve.
Yeah.
We are all Dolphins with our fins up, looking forward to the season. Today was the first official day. Not much came out because it was more just getting to there. It was like the first day of school, the players were saying, getting all the material, not really doing much. Tomorrow they're going to hit the field, so we should get more news coming out.
Great. I'm excited, man. I'm really excited. I mean, it's football time, baby. It's ready to rock and roll. So let me ask you, Rob, what you got going on at Dolphins Chatter and Dolphins Thirsty?
Well, always all things Miami Dolphins, all things Dolphins matter on Dolphins Chatter here on YouTube, on dolphinthirsty.com. A lot of fun. Remember, guys, it may not always be the quickest to get there, but I am the owner, writer, editor, proofreader, everything you can say on Dolphins Thirsty. Every so often, Bobby during the season's probably hoping to get some other people in there eventually, who had told me they're going to start working for us. And, Nando and all that, when the season got going, he said he would love to do some stuff. So hopefully we get more content coming all the time, but you can always find Dolphins Trivia. And anytime I have the time to update Miami Dolphins stuff, it's just from the heart, no big inside sources, but it's just fun Miami Dolphins. And I love it and wouldn't have it any other way. Thank you, Steve.
Absolutely, Rob. Yeah, folks, if you're Dolphin fans, you need to go ahead and go over to his pages, dolphinthirsty.com. Check it out. He's always got a good blog in there or trivia questions, and I think you'll really enjoy it. And also check his channel out, Dolphins Chatter. I help him out a lot at times.
Yes, you do. I get to switch role on the Dolphins.
I'm honored
Dolphins
to
Thirsty here on the tube.
Yes,
but
I'm honored for him to be joining me on Real Talk Fins Talk, and I'm honored that he allows me to join him on Dolphins Chatter.
Yeah. Hey, we're just guys that love talking about the Miami Dolphins. So just like Bobby, the producer here, and Evan, all the people on the network that love the Dolphins, Brett, and all those cool guys. We all talk Miami Dolphins fans on here. Of course, Hank. How can I forget Hank, who also helps me a lot on my channel? All these guys are great. And it's been fun, man. It's been a little over a year I got to meet all you guys, and it's been a lot of fun. Mm-hmm. So it's been a fun ride. Now let's just hope the Dolphins do more winning for us, so we have a lot more to talk about.
There we go.
All the way into February, if you know what I mean.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
So we got a lot to talk about tonight. First thing I want to bring up talk a little bit about the breaking news. I'm sure some of you that are watching right now have heard the news. Maybe you haven't, but Justin Herbert, not Dolphin news, but Justin Herbert has signed a 5-year extension with the Los Angeles Chargers for $262 million. Woo!
Yeah. Hey, I mean, it's coming. No big surprise. They have their guy. They wrapped up. Hopefully we have our guy soon enough, and we know he's our guy, and we wrap him up. and everything's moving good. But right now, that's another story. But congratulations to Mr. Herbert. Get your money when you can, and hopefully we still kick his butt come September 10th to open the season.
Absolutely.
You can introduce him.
Absolutely.
You might be rich, but we're still going to knock the snot out of you. So
I like that. I like that spirit,
Yeah.
Rob. I like
Yeah.
that. It's game time, baby. Game on. Game on. So anyway, also, I wanted to congratulate, talking about our starting quarterback, I wanted to congratulate Tua Tagovailoa. He made the NFL 100 list. Now, this is a list that he's judged by his peers. So he's getting the recognition that is so due unto him. So I give kudos to Tua. He made number 82 on the list. So I'm really happy about him. I hope he continues his trajectory up, and that he's continues to be and continues to do what he did last year, and hopefully it's a big if, but he needs to stay healthy, and he has to be consistent and win those big games in December and January. But congratulate him. He definitely deserves it. Also, Christian Wilkins made the top 100. He was 81. And, of course, Terran Armstead, he was 83. So
for both Tua and Armstead making it, I know some people were saying, that might be a little low. But remember, a lot of them missed critical time last year. So for them to still find their peers ranking them up that high, even though they missed time, so some of their peers didn't even go against them. And, it's still pretty, I like it. That's it. And like you and I talked off air, these rankings don't really matter. They're fun to talk about. But what you said, winning or losing on and off the field is the big thing. But yes, it's nice to be recognized, because generally the teams that get a lot of players in the top 100 are the teams that are good. So there you go. So, hey, getting up there, and we'll see what else falls down on the list, for the Dolphins. But those are pretty good spots where we are right now.
No, absolutely. And you're right. What you said, I agree with you 100% on that. But what I like is this is something that his peers picked him. So these are players he's playing against, and it's not just the Dolphins players. It's
right. It's right. It's right. I like it, and you're right, Moyo. That's why I do believe they came in like that. They came in at basically Jimmy Suffolk, Dua Harris, and Mark Clayton, 81, 82, and 83. I think isn't that where they fell? Right about that range, right? All back to back to back. Yeah,
I think you're right.
Yeah, that's what Moira was saying. So I do remember seeing that. I was thinking, man, they're all right there. Boom, boom, boom. Yeah. So I mean, it's not bad, man. I like it, man. Let's move forward, fins up, and it's good to see him get a little bit of recognition. So people see when he can play, he can get the job done. Now let's just keep him healthy for all the games.
No doubt. So congratulations again to all three of them, and especially our quarterback, Tua Tagovailoa. Also, I wanted to talk a little bit about the Dalvin Cook incident, and also basically what he said. He kind of spilled beans. Now, look, this kid, well, let me just tell you. He basically said that now this is not quotes, okay? I know. I know. A lot of folks
paraphrasing.
They're going to get comments telling me that, that wasn't an exact quote. But here's the deal. What he did say was that keep in mind, he made it specifically clear when he was talking that he's letting all his agent handle all of his negotiations and stuff like that. So he may not even be aware of a lot of the stuff that the agents are doing in the background, right? But anyway, he was on there, Rich Eisen, and he was interviewed, and he was asked about the teams that were interested in him and where he'd like to play, and of course AFC East. He said teams in AFC East have been interested in him, and then Rich Eisen actually point blank asked him, did they make you an offer? Anybody make you an offer? Is it true that the Miami Dolphins made you an offer? He said, no, they did not. So that's comes out of the horse's mouth. Those are his words.
Right.
And he said that, and the Jets as well did not make him an offer. So nobody in the AFC East has made him an offer. So this is just my theory. If the Jets haven't made him an offer, all right, if Miami Dolphins hasn't made him an offer, and he's already said that he doesn't want to play for the Buffalo Bills because his brother, is playing with the Buffalo Bills, and that would cause a lot of conflict in the family and all this kind of stuff, right?
Right.
Well, the only team that's left are the New England Patriots.
In the division, but there are other teams.
In the division. Right, now there are other teams out of the division, of course.
Right.
We don't know that. We don't know those teams. But at least in our division, New England Patriots. So keep that in mind. Now, Barry Jackson, I saw it today. He came back on Twitter, and he said he and Jeff Darlington had heard that, yes, that the Dolphins did make him an offer. Now, maybe he has some inside information. I'm sure he does that we don't know of or aware of, or even that Dalvin Cook is aware of. So, or maybe he got some misinformation, but he said that they did make him an offer. So we'll leave it at that. That's where it stands with Dalvin Cook. And I've made it very clear I'm not advocating for Dalvin Cook. I think we're fine. I know you've said it as well, Rob. You're fine with the running back room that we have. And honestly, I think getting Dalvin Cook would be more of a
luxury.
It'd be a luxury, but it would also, I think it would hurt our team more, or hurt Tua and our team more than anything else. And I've talked to you about this.
You talked out off air about how, because he's not a guy that always breaks the big game. He's like a -1 yard or 2 yard, but then he will occasionally bust the big yard. But, he does get some runs for minus yards is what you were telling me when you were looking. So, that could actually hurt our offense because you don't want to be put into in a 2nd and 12 or 3rd and 9 or whatever because you lose some yards in the previous running play. So I get your point. I understand. But that dream of him busting one from time to time like he did against the Dolphins this past year, lingers in the mind. But I believe a healthy Mostert, he had a good interview with the local media on their first day back. And the general feeling around the team is that they like the running back room, that they feel like the talk is to win at their first playoff game in over 20 years. So it seems like, and he talked like that he loves the continuity coming back. He loves being in McDaniel's system. He says he's 100% healthy physically and mentally for the first time in a long time.
Amen.
And he's ready to go. And I think that's just kind of good because, if you bring Dalvin Cook, you could throw the whole chemistry of the running back room off because no matter what you say publicly, of course, they're going to say, oh, no, we're fine. That's football. We bring in all the guys. But, deep down, they'd be like, son of a gun, man. We've been here the past couple of years working under McDaniel. So there will be a little dissension no matter what you say because someone's going to go. And it's not going to be Mostert going, or it's probably not going to be Jeff Wilson going, but someone like an Ahmed or Gaskins could be shown the door and whatever. So I'm happy where we are. If we're going to spend that little bit of money that we have left to spend, because like we said last night on our show we did, Papa Paul, you always want to carry some money into the season because if during the season someone gets hurt, you want to be able to go out and at least get someone off the street to come be able to play. And, you're not like, oh, my God, we don't have money to pay anyone. We're screwed. We have to start playing, put in whoever, wherever. So, change positions on people. So I do agree you need a little bit of money, but we do have a little that we can free up. You can free up more for this year. If you sign Kristen Wilkins or Zach Sealer or Connor Willems long term, you can free up a little more money this year. But you definitely want some money going into the season. And with no further ado, let me say hello, Cap for life. Thank you to the show, man. So welcome, Mr. Cap. Always a pleasure to have you here in our shows on either network. But yeah, so anyway, that's how I feel about I'm with you on the Dalvin Cook. Is it super needed? No. Is it going to hurt? No, but I prefer at this point, let's just move forward. Training camp's here. Now, if one of our running backs goes down during training camp, I may change my whole tune altogether and say, go get him. And maybe that's what Dalvin Cook, because Buffalo's already lost a running back. And so maybe some other teams will lose running backs and his value is going to go up. So, and then like you said, behind closed doors that Barkley signed a 1 year, $11 million deal. So maybe that's going to push up the running back numbers for a 1 year contract. So, We'll see, man. That's what I like to say. We will see, Steve. Sorry to go for long-winded for almost the same answer you came up with.
No, no,
That
you're good. You're good. You're good, Rob.
I'm happy. I'm happy with our running
I,
back room.
I appreciate you being here, man. You reel me in a lot of times, and you make a lot of good points and keep me on point. So I
I think
appreciate
we're
it.
on the same page for the
Yeah,
yeah.
For once, we're on the same page, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's good.
No. But hey, I want to welcome everybody into the chat. I appreciate y'all, Moya, and I see Cap for Life, brother. Thank you, brother. I see you a lot on the spaces and also on Fins Talk Sports Network and Dolphins Chatter. You move around. You move around. So I appreciate you being on here, brother. So
he's saying
also,
that Jonathan Teller and Jacobs are still no shows as camp opens.
Right. That's true. That's true. Yeah, for sure. But also wanted to get a little bit into the Dalvin Cook incident as well. Look, I know a lot of folks are saying, oh, it's a nothing. He didn't do anything. It's just past. No, it's not. It's not. Okay. And I'll tell you why. Look, there was no police report. Both parties did not call the law enforcement or anything like that. And so, no, in the legal system, no, it's not as far as a criminal, right? Case is concerned. But keep in mind, Dalvin Cook did offer, and his lawyers did offer Sergeant Trimble $800,000 to keep quiet, not to talk about anything to the NFL or Goodall, right? Because that's the guy, that's the jury, and that.
So was it 800,000, or did he go all the way up to $1 million?
Well, he went to 800,000 was the first offer,
right?
And then she said no, go pound sand. And then he offered her $1 million, and she said no, go pound sand.
Right, because she said she would have been charged.
She would have perjured perjury, because she had already signed a sworn deposition and everything.
Right.
Making all the claims and all that kind of stuff, allegations of what he did.
Right.
And there's pictures out there. I've seen them, and her face does not look very good at all. Now, there's always two sides to every story. I got that. We don't really know. We weren't there. And the bottom line is, I'll just say this, okay? And this I'm going to put a disclaimer out there. This has nothing to do with the Fins Talk Sports Network or anybody else. This is my opinion. This is my
big disclaimer of the night.
My opinion, okay? My opinion only. And we're going to get into this one too as well. We already have a Tyreek Hill that had an incident that happened this year. We had the tampering thing, okay? We have other things in the past with the Miami Dolphins that have happened. We all know about this if we're Dolphin fans, right?
Correct.
I don't want any more, and people aren't going to like this. I don't want any more thugs around in our organization or in our locker room. That's just my opinion. I do not want him nowhere near the Miami Dolphins. I don't care how many touchdowns he scores, how many yards he makes, okay? If you got to stoop down that low to that level and have somebody on your team, I have no more respect for who signs them, whether it's Greer or the Dolphin organization, whoever you want to point the finger at. That's just my 2 cents, and it's nobody else's. Anyway.
No, I know. I hear you. That's fine, man. That's fine, man. Makes this all fun to talk about, man, because everyone has different opinions on everything, and no hard feeling. I understand where you're coming in. I understand exactly what you're saying. You don't want put the Dolphins in a possibly bad. Sorry, my computer froze up for half a second. But you don't want to put the Dolphins in a bad light. I understand that. I'm with that too, and I'm just more or less what's the news would break one way or the other, whether he's coming here, not coming here, and let's just move forward. I just almost hope he just signs. I would like it that it's not with the Jets, so I'll be honest on that front.
Yes,
but,
I agree with you. I agree.
At this point, yes, we don't need to be painted in a bad light. The Dolphins have had plenty of incidents over the past few years, so let's try to move forward, stay away from that. I know the Tyreek thing, just like you said, was more or less clear, but doesn't mean you had a good short that a lot of people watched. saying that just because the league now he's reached a settlement with the Marina guy. I know I'm jumping on your next topic, but I think we're done about Cook. I think
you're
we're
good.
done about
We
Cook
are done. We're done. I'm done. I'm done with Cook.
Yeah, so I think we're done. That's it. It's been overcooked. The recipe's done. A little burnt, actually, at this point on talking about Cook. So,
I agree 100%.
Moving on to Tyreek Hill to now start climbing up that hill, another little pun in there. I say that it's good he's reached settlement, so there's not going to be any legal issue coming down from the county. So that is good. And, but now it's going to be whether Roger Goodell looks at it and thinks there's anything. We don't know. But now that it's open, it can be this year, because rumor was, it may take so long that he won't get suspended till next year. So now now that it's over and the criminal justice system has made their ruling, but hopefully the NFL comes out and says they're not going to pursue anything because there's nothing there. Mm-hmm. And from what I understand, the video is not super clear, so that might save them in this situation.
It might.
So who knows? But yes, you just don't even want that. Even though he might be cleared and nothing comes of it, it was still something that made national news, where the Miami Dolphins once again had one of their guys in the national news for the wrong reason. So I understand why we're all a little bit wary about signing guys with some checkered past. But, hopefully that's it. Hopefully the league decides sooner, so we don't have it like holding over going into the season, like, are they going to suspend them, not suspend them? Hopefully the league did come out and say, well, there's nothing to this matter, and the case is dropped. So now it's in the league's hand, from what I understand, and they have the right to discipline as they see fit. But hopefully, since Hill and this guy reached settlement, which doesn't mean anything because it means he may be omitting something. So, because you don't reach settlement with someone that you don't think, you didn't do something wrong. But we don't know. We'll see. That's all speculation. But now it's your turn. You're the big host. I'm sorry. I was just done with Cook. I really was. What can I say?
No, you're good, Rob. Don't ever apologize for anything like that, man. I appreciate it. I appreciate your rambling. But
yeah, exactly.
But you said it. You summed it up pretty good about Tyreek Hill. It's in the hands of, again, Goodall. He's the judge and jury here. They got the video. The security, the NFL security has been investigating this. But remember, and I will bring this up though, in the PCP, the personal conduct policy for the NFL, because Tyreek Hill has a checkered past, as you said, right. And it doesn't matter whether it was in college or not. They can expedite the decision of, if they even thinking about this. I can't read his mind.
Right, of course, you don't know.
Yeah. But even if they do, they can expedite a suspension if that's what's on their mind, because of the previous findings that happened with it. So just keep that in mind. Just keep that in mind. I mean, I hope not. I mean, it's great that he's settled and everything. I mean, bottom line is he slapped the guy. It was between two guys. They got upset with each other. I get it. I felt like slapping folks around before, and I've got slapped before, and we just shook hands and called it a day. So we came to a settlement, right? But bottom line is, that's the only my concern is that he does get suspended for some games this year. But anyway, that's enough on Tyreek. That's enough on Cook, and the same goes for Cook. He could possibly get suspended as well. So that would be something else. Even if let's say we did sign him. Let's say into the season, they decided they're going to suspend him for 3 or 4 games, Yeah. But anyway, that's here and there.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway, so let's get into the Dolphins training camp. Well, the good news is the Dolphins veterans have come in today for a training camp, and there's everybody showed up. There's no holdouts. So nobody holded out. Connor Williams, I understand, was in camp. I understand that who was the other one?
Wilkins.
Yeah, Christian Wilkins didn't hold out. Zach Sealer didn't hold out. In fact, I saw pictures of Zach Sealer and some the players. They were on Twitter. Not a lot has come out. Not a lot of film or pictures. I guess in upcoming days we'll get more.
Yeah, they had some like photo shoots today.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
Today was just a first day of school where to get all, like I said, to get all the materials, get ready for the season. Tomorrow, from what I understand, they actually hit their first practice. So hopefully the team puts out some photos and everything. I don't think tomorrow's is open to the media. I'm not sure. There's only so many that are open to the media. I think tomorrow's might be. I don't know. I forget. I was reading the days that the media has assets and the days they don't. But, so that'd be nice. We start getting reports of stuff. It's open to the public on Sunday. I'll be out there on Sunday watching the Dolphins practice. So hopefully, if any of you guys are Dolphin fans and are going to go to that live here in South Florida, hopefully we can find each other and talk Miami Dolphins football while I'm out there. I'll be there with my wife and 2 sons, so it should be a good time. Going to be a hot one, but hey, it should be fine. And we talk about the Miami Dolphins. But yeah, so it's much more fun having stuff come out now that they're in camp. We're going to see different photos and seeing the same photos over and over that we all use and tweet about. So it'd be nice to have new shots, and it's it's going to be cool. I'm looking forward to it, man. This is what I've been saying all along, man. This is the no excuse season for the Miami Dolphins. There is no excuse. Injuries are not going to be an excuse. Tough breaks are not going to be an excuse. Weather games are not going to be an excuse. Tough teams that we're playing on the road, whatever. I don't care. There's no excuse. This is a year that the Dolphins have got to find their way into the playoffs. And not only that, they got to win at least a playoff game. I know you say the goal, of course, is the Super Bowl, but that should be the goal of every team.
I'm with McDaniel.
Yeah. There's only one happy. Yeah, of course. What he always says is that there's only one team happy at the end of the year, and that's the team that wins the Super Bowl. Everyone else feels like they did not reach their goal at the end of the year when you don't win the Super Bowl. So out of 32 teams, only one can be happy. But it's been way too long since the Dolphins have been that one happy team. This is the 50th year since the last Super Bowl win. Last year was the 50th year for the perfect season. This is the 50th year for the last Super Bowl win. 20-something years, 2000, whatever that is, December 30th, 2000 was the last playoff win. Not talking Super Bowl. I'm just talking a playoff win where you get lucky on a break and, win a playoff game somehow. We haven't even had that for over 20 years, which means my 2 sons, it's like I always like it as my barometer of where we are. My oldest son will be 21 years old this year, and he's never seen the Dolphins win a playoff game, but yet he's still a fan. But, he's up in Gainesville. So that means he's gone through went all the way through preschool, kindergarten, all the way through high school, is now at the University of Florida, and he's never seen the Dolphins win a playoff game in that span. That is horrible. And we got to that is horrible. If you would have told me when I was their age, because yes, we didn't, you were lucky enough to see the Dolphins win the Super Bowl. I saw them lose Super Bowls, but they were always in the playoffs.
Twice.
I know. You saw them win both. And I wasn't old enough to remember. I was on the earth, but I wasn't old enough to remember. So I don't really claim them. I could say I was on the earth is how I look at it. But when we got to the 80s and we lost to the Redskins, which are now the Commanders, so don't get this network in trouble. It's me calling them the Redskins, but back then they were the Redskins. And John Riggins, ran over Don McNeil. And then the Dolphins lost to Joe Montana when, Marino had a record-breaking year. We lost to the 49ers in the Super Bowl. And yes, it sucked. But if you would have told me back then, like, the Dolphins are going to go some stretch of 20 years without even winning a playoff game, I would have laughed you off. Like, we're not the Detroit Lions. We're not this and we're not that. We're not the Cleveland Browns, But, now here we are 20 years since our last playoff win. Way too long. So this is the no excuse year for our beloved Miami Dolphins.
I'm with you, brother. I'm with you. But we do have some news on some roster moves the Dolphins made today. And Terran Armstead, Isaiah Wynn, who we just acquired, and Tanner Connor both were put on the inactive list or perform injury list.
Right.
I guess you could say. And so that's not good. Now, here's the thing with Terran Armstead. We know he's not going to get a lot of reps. He's not going to he's not going to practice a lot. That's what they did last year. But so there's still time for him. My concern with Terran Armstead is everybody remembers, right? After the Cincinnati game, the doctor suggested to Terran Armstead that he needed surgery on that foot or toe, whatever it was.
Correct.
And that's my concern. Did he have that surgery in the offseason? And is that the reason why he's was put on this list. I don't know. We don't know. We're not going to find out until maybe sometime this week, or we may not. Hopefully, it's not another Byron Jones ordeal,
Yeah,
right?
no, hopefully, if please don't say that. Don't even say that. If it's that, we're screwed because that's, I mean, more of an important position for the Dolphins this year.
Absolutely. Like I said,
Already,
like I've been saying, I said, Terron Armstead, I think is, to a degree, is more valuable than Tua Tagovailoa. To be honest with you, that's just my 2 cents. But
Scotty
anyway,
says Armstead elected not to have surgery.
When? This year or last year?
Yeah.
I know last year he elected not to, and he played the whole year with his injury. And there's a couple of games there he looked like he was injured. He got manhandled. Okay.
Right. Steve, I'm not walking out on you, but my dog wants out of the room, and once he wants out of the room, he starts barking. So
no, go ahead. I got it.
No, it's like a 5-second gone.
Yeah, just don't kick your dog.
Never.
But also, not only are those concerns with Armstead and Wynn. Now Wynn has an injury history already too, as well. So, and he's injured. And don't forget, Nick Needham has been put on the pub, so he's out. We don't know when he's coming back, and if he's not getting a lot of reps, that's not good, especially with Vic Fangio trying to install a new defense.
Yeah, at least along the defensive backfield, we're a little deeper, so it's not as making Needham, especially after we drafted Cam Smith and stuff. I know he's a rookie, but Cater Cole, who was a rookie last year, undrafted him, held up his own as much as possible. But the offensive line definitely scares me, and I agree. I want Nick Needham back. Don't get me wrong, but at least when you got some depth at one position. But offensive line, we're already going in thinking we're thin, and we're like, well, if Armstead misses time, at least Wynn could play left tackle, and then he's on the same list. So you're like, oh, great. What a great way to start, like our left tackle.
Exactly. You have your 2 left tackles injured.
Yeah, I know.
On the list, right?
Yeah.
But moving on, though, and also don't forget, David Long didn't even participate in the OTAs or the mandatory OTAs. He's hurt, and he has a history of injuries. And Deshaun Elliott had a hurt shoulder. So I don't know if he even showed up for a camp today.
Yeah, I know.
Or David Long, to be honest with you. So those are some other injuries, and yeah, that was it. So those are my concerns right now with the injuries, and I hate to say it, but we got to thank Chris Greer for that. If you're gonna acquire guys with an injury history, that's what's gonna happen. So. Yeah, I got to put the blame on him. I'm sorry, but that's the realistic view of it right now.
No, I know. No, you're right on that.
Yeah. So you said you're going to the practices this Sunday, correct?
Correct. Right there in Miami Gardens, Florida. I'd be going there. It'd be my first time going to the new training camp complex because last year I still couldn't go for my various reasons, and now I can. I'm all granted. And it's going to be fun. I can't wait until I get out there and see Dolphins. Yep, go ahead, Steve.
Scotty says everyone reported. So that's good to hear, Scotty. Thank you.
I knew.
If that's accurate information, I appreciate that. Appreciate you bringing that point up, brother. But yeah, so yeah, that's great, Rob. I'm happy, man. Please, man, get some autographs, but I'd be like a kid in a candy store.
Yeah, I'm not an autograph seeker, man. I admire these guys. I'm not an autograph. Now, if I happen to buy, a pack of cards that gets an autograph card that comes in it or whatever, but I'm not a guy to go up there and bug him for an autograph. It's just not my thing. But when I was younger, I did. Like
listen to Rob. Listen to Rob.
Hey, if AJ Dewey was in the crowd, he made our intro and everything.
Listen to Rob, and when he gets there, he's gonna be a different story with him. Watch.
Oh no,
he's gonna come back with all kinds of autographs.
I was at the softball game and there was guys signing right there, and I understand why people want, because I used to do it, but now I'm just like what am I going to do anyway? Because who's going to believe me anyway? I can forge any signature. To me, like when you get one like in a pack of cards, when I use now it's been a couple years since I haven't bought football or baseball cards because it just gets too crazy now in all these different companies and stuff. But it would be fun to open up the pack and get a card. But to me, just go out there and bug someone for an autograph's not my thing. Now, if I could get a quick picture of someone and put him on the Fins Talk Sports Network or Dolphins Thirsty to say, hey, whatever. But, other than that, it's just I'm not the biggest autograph guy. I know you like getting the autographs, and it's fun.
I do.
I
I
know,
do.
and it's great. Papa Paul the other night on our show was saying he loves it. It's great to do. I mean, go out and it's just not my thing per se. We all have our things we like and don't like. It's
Sure.
if some of the kids, like my legends as a kid, like an AJ Dewey or stuff like that, walks by me, or and Dan Marino and Mark Duper, Mark Clayton, then we're talking about a different story.
I got a story to tell you.
Then we're talking about a different story, but that's just then and now. But hey, I still admire these guys' great work, and it's going to be fun out there.
Oh, and, absolutely.
Should be a fun first day out there for the public to be there.
Absolutely. But yeah, here's my story. I was walking in the mall. I don't remember because this was so many years ago. I was one of the newer malls in Broward County, and my wife and I were in the mall. And this was when Dan Marino was a rookie. He was at one of those athletic shoe stores signing autographs with Mark Duper and Mark Clayton, and Bob Kuechenberg was there as well.
Oh,
I got Bob Kuechenberg's autograph, and my wife says, "Why don't you go get that guy over there? He's your quarterback, right?" I said, "He's a nobody. He's a nothing."
I did.
I didn't get an autograph.
This is so funny. Of all things, way before Dan Marino was Dan. I mean, he was already Dan Marino, but he hadn't gotten big. I have a similar story, but I did get his autograph, but I couldn't even tell you what I did with that one way back in the day. He appeared, of all places, a baby store, like selling baby clothing and cribs. He made.
Oh, you mean like Baby R Us or something like that?
Yeah, something like that. But it was a smaller store. It wasn't a big.
Right.
And he was in Kendo. Right. He was in Kendo, and we went there, and hardly anyone was there. So that's why I was saying, can you imagine now Dan Marino showing up at a local store saying he's going to sign autographs? You'd be standing in line and paying probably $200 to get his autograph. Back then,
you'd spend the night. People would be spending the night to get his autograph.
I'm sure the store paid him to be there, but he wasn't even charging for his autograph. You could just get whatever you want, and he'd sign the autograph, and it was crazy, man. My mom will probably watch this show at some point, and she's going to remember that. We went there at some store in Kendall, and, it was great. So back then, it was just so much different, though. So much. Social media was now every time, because Mark Duper and Mark Clayton made an appearance at a local store down here recently, and it was, like you said, it was big lines. And mind you, it was big lines where people paying money, so times have changed. People are willing to pay like $100 something an autograph for each one of them.
I remember going to Miami International Airport when the Dolphins used to drive home from games. There was no security. There was nothing. As soon as they came out of the plane, walk down the hall there, you go right up to them and sign, get their autographs, shake their hands. Hey, pat them on the back. All that
those
stuff,
days are long gone. But you could go to the training camp in Miami Lakes, and you would walk right up to their, you couldn't go into the locker room. It wasn't that liberal, but you could be right at the locker room door, and the players would come out, sign, and times have changed. He used to come out holding brewskis and stuff right out of the locker room.
I got another story. It
was different times. I know we're probably the younger fans are probably, what are these guys rambling about the old days for? But it's just fun, man. I'm just teasing. It's just fun.
Another time I had the opportunity to get Dan Marino's autograph too, but I was working. At the time. I was doing construction work when I first got out of the military back then. I was doing some construction work. Anyway, I was on the back of a truck, and we were in Weston, and that's where Dan Marino used to live. And we were right by his house. He came out of his house, no shirt on, shorts, no shoes, with a Budweiser in his hand. I was like, oh, whoa. I was like, hey. He waved and everything, but I didn't get a chance to get his autograph. The truck took off. I said, we got to go. Oh, man. Yeah. But anyway.
That's so funny. That's so cool, man. I mean, there are, but now it's just so different. But, it's funny. I got one more quick Dan Marino story. Many years ago, it was after his playing career already, but when now my wife and I have been married over 20 years, but when we went and got married up in the Montreal area, so we were on the airplane to go to Montreal, and then Dan Marino was on the plane because we had a layover in Pittsburgh real quick, And so I guess he was going back home for a little while.
Mm-hmm.
So that was like a good sign because me and my wife are still married to this day, you know.
Right.
So it's a good sign. Denver, I didn't bug him
Absolutely.
again. He was just sitting there. He was in first class, and me and my wife weren't in first class. You know, we had to walk past the first class people, but he was
Mhm.
sitting there in first class and right there, almost in the beginning of the plane, already seated when we started walking in. And, you know, I'm like, hey, it's Dan Marino to my wife. She's like, oh, I'm like, oh, I'm not going to bug him because he's on a plane. No one wants to be bugged on a plane. But, you know, I just thought it was cool that Dan Marino was on my plane though, on my way to get married.
Yeah,
So, hey,
that's
because
neat.
he had
That's
given me a
cool.
lot of good childhood memories watching those Dolphins, you know. So it's just
Oh yeah.
didn't win the Super Bowl, but he gave me a lot of good memories. So
Yeah, a
anyway,
lot of
we can get back on track.
playoffs, a lot of playoffs.
We can
But
exactly. We can get
but
back on
anyway,
track talking about our team now. Now that we went down memory lane,
we're
and it's always
we're
fun.
really showing our homer here, aren't we?
Yeah, no, man, we
But
are.
anyway,
But you know, it's good. That shows how long we've been fans. We're not just a
oh
fly
yeah.
by night. That well, now the Dolphins are getting good. Let's root for the Dolphins. We've been rooting for them forever.
Oh,
So
absolutely, absolutely.
yeah,
But yeah, Rob, I'm happy that you're gonna get down there. And no, but I'm serious though. You know, keep your eyes peeled. We had a show about Dolphins expectations for camp. So about Tua throwing the sideline, and that kind of stuff,
right.
and the defense, and so keep an eye on that and let us know because we need some we need some some eyes down there other than the media and the beat reporters down
Yeah.
there because
No, it's
they
gonna
get
be
paid
fun, man.
they get
It's gonna be
paid they get paid to say stuff, and they're very limited to what they can say. So when you go down there, you can bring back the true view of what you've seen down there in practice and all that. So
yeah.
please
No,
do
man.
that.
Yeah, no, I'm looking forward to it. This Sunday, 10 a.m. is scheduled, and it's going to be fun. And
Absolutely,
looking
that's great.
looking forward to it, and hopefully get to meet, even if it's Dolphin fans that aren't in this room right now, meet some fellow Dolphin fans because I'm always willing to talk. Make my kids say, "Oh, Dad, you're talking to a stranger," because I just started talking to strangers. And I wouldn't do it if it's not for either the Dolphins or Red Sox talk, or fishing. Those are the three
Mhm.
things I would talk to strangers about. Anything else, I don't even bother, breaking conversation. But if they have fishing shirt, Red Sox or Dolphins, I always find a way to break a conversation and
Oh
start
wow,
talking about
that's
start
neat.
talking about those three things. But anyway, Moyo says his mom was Dan Marino's insurance agent back in the day.
Oh wow, neat. Isn't that
Yeah,
something? But anyway, so getting back to the training camp and stuff. So, but yeah, you'll be the eyes down there for the Fence Talk Sports Network and for Dolphins Chatter. So,
yeah, yeah.
you'll be able to bring back the true view of what you saw there. Also, I will be making a joint practice with the Houston Oilers on August. I think it's August the 17th or 18th. I think they're having two practices. So I'm going to try to make one of those practices along with with Reginald Brown. He and I will probably meet up there. Reginald Brown, of course, if nobody knows, he used to play wide receiver for the Houston Oilers back in the day. And he
But it's
comes
a
on.
big Miami Dolphins fan.
Yeah, he comes on Dolphin Chatter, and he's also in a lot of the Twitter Spaces and other
Right out there, he's everywhere, man.
content
He's
creator
everywhere.
shows and
He
stuff.
loves. He's
He's
like us.
everywhere. He's everywhere.
If someone gives him an ear, he's going to talk about the Miami Dolphins.
Right.
So he's
Right.
like us.
And I'm hoping because he lives in the Houston area. I hope Richmond Webb is there as well. I'd love to meet up with him as well.
Yeah, no, that'd be awesome.
Yeah.
Real quick,
and
are tickets? You have to get tickets for the Texans, or they're not? As because in Dolphins, you got to get tickets.
yes,
You don't have to.
you have to get
They're
tickets.
free. Okay, they're free.
Right.
But,
Same with Houston. Same with the Houston
Okay.
area as well. Hey guys, I forgot to mention. Please like, subscribe, share with your friends, your families, your neighbors. Thank you for joining tonight. Like I always say, we cannot do this show without you, but we appreciate you. So please share as much as you can, and we're close to 1,000. So I know we're real close to 900 if we haven't broke it already. So
Yeah.
please like that button as you're going out tonight. But anyway, now, and also TD Fence Talk is supposed to be coming up there as well for those joint practices. So I'll be able to meet up with him as well. So that ought to be cool.
No, where's
meeting
TD?
some of the.
What? He's out of Houston, or where's
No,
TD?
TD's in Central Florida.
Oh, okay, but he's gone all the way over to Houston to see those.
Yeah,
practices?
he's said he's going to try and make it up to Houston to watch the joint practices. He's going to actually make. He's he's going to try and make every single practice this year, if it's, once it's open to the public with the Miami Dolphins, in the South Florida area.
No,
so he's going to make
that's
every
good stuff, man. The good stuff. And I know you're going to be on his show Thursday night, so you're going to be talking.
Yeah. He invited me on Thursday night. Rob, you know the time. What is the time again? I think it's 7
p.m.
I think it's 7 o'clock.
7 p.m. Yeah, I was your go-between you two. So
yeah,
anyway, So but yeah, he's 7 p.m. Thursday night. You're going to be out there. So what? So will Fangio have a problem if X is weak tackling attempts?
That's a good question, Richard. That's a good question. I will say this. I know that X is going to probably benefit a lot from the scheme that Vic Fangio runs. There's a lot of zone coverage, and with his aging legs and him being hurt, basically he's been hurt every year he's played with Miami.
Yeah.
I think he's going to benefit a lot. Greatly.
No, I agree. I mean, he made his money
as far as his coverage skills.
Yeah, his coverage skills what made him his money as man-to-man. But as you get older, I think he'll be able to adjust to the scheme. And I think he's going to be able to jump routes because he's going to be able to read quarterback. So he's he's not the super tackler, but and neither are some of the Hall of Fame cornerback like Deion Sanders. Of course, I'm not putting him in the same breath as Deion Sanders, even though I just did put him in the same breath. But he wasn't a great tackler, So
no, he wasn't.
It's just there. I think you can. Yes, you would love a guy that comes up there and pounds you in the, because Cater Coho, he can come up and hit, and that's what.
Yeah. Now he's a good tackler.
Yeah, he is. So, you got some. And I think Ramsey, I'll be honest, me, I'm more Dolphins, but I know who Ramsey was before he came. I know he played for Jacksonville, then went out to the Rams.
Right.
But I don't know what his reputation, but from what I read, he's a pretty good tackler. So, you can cover up a lot of stuff, hopefully, Mainly, what you want McDaniel, Xavier, you want him covering the most. Yes, he's going to have to come up and support the running plays and that. But,
But he's not that guy. He's not that guy.
Very good question, Richard. Yeah, he's never going to be the grind it out, come up and knock your socks off type.
And I also think that Ramsey will, Ramsey X is going to benefit off Ramsey's play as well. So I think they're going to make a good trio.
Well, I do too, man. I'm looking forward to it. Like, the defensive backs is one of the positions I'm least worried about. And running back, as we talked on, I'm not worried about it. And receiver, I'm not that worried about. Now, and the starting defensive line, I'm not that worried about. But behind the interior starting defensive line, then I get a little queasy, as Joel Philbin once said. I do, because you got Sealer, who's really good. You got Kristen Wilkins, who's really good. Raegon Davis, people love him or hate him, but he gets to, he does okay for what they ask him to do. But after those three, there's a lot of unknowns. People like some of the guys on the roster, but, there's a lot of unknowns after those three. So, that's where I'm a little worried about the depth. But other than that, it's like defensive backfield. Linebacker, I'm a little worried about.
Yeah, me too.
So we did.
Linebacker. And to be honest with you, I know you say there's a lot of depth back there for safety and in cornerbacks or defensive backs as a whole.
Yeah, I'm just classifying him as defensive back, but
defensive backs as a whole.
Safety is a little bit of a worry.
I'm a little. I can't say I'm concerned, but I want to see what Brandon Jones does. I want to see if he fits in I've said in the past that he may not fit in the Vic Fangio scheme. So that's one thing I'm going to be watching out for.
He got a full goal of health. I did see that he's like, unless something changes, he seems to have a full. He has a full goal to start day one of training camp.
That's good.
Waiting.
That's good. That's going to
like, maybe by the third week. No, he's like, supposedly he's going to be ready tomorrow. But, things change. That's what the article I read.
And also, Rob, I know Cater Coho, give the kudos to this guy. He was an undrafted free agent, came in here and just thrown into the fire, and he did a great job. Now, was that a fluke? Did he just have a fluke year? So that's another thing we need to keep an eye on too. Can he replicate what he did last year in that defensive backfield?
Sam Madison really talks him up. I know that's a coach's job is to talk their guys up, but he talks with a passion when he talks about Cater Coho. He was saying, I can't believe this kid wasn't drafted. He
Yeah.
comes balling. He's ready. He's done everything we ever asked him of. We put him in some tough spots. He was playing for a playoff contending team as an undrafted rookie, getting major playing time, which was never on the docket to begin, So, and here he is. He was playing in major playoff games down, playoff deciding game for
Well,
the playoff.
and this is why I'm concerned too for our defense as a whole. This is a new system for all those guys, other than David Long, Malik Reed, Deshaun Elliott, and I think there's someone else that we might have gotten that I might be missing. That was Bradley Chubb. They did play with Fangio before, so that's good. That's a good thing. But most of the other guys, it's not easy transitioning from one. I mean, a totally opposite, scheme as to compared to a Vic Fangio. So there might be a learning curve there. We might be grinning, going like this in some of those games, and like, oh my God, is this going to be happening all year?
Yeah.
But we'll see.
Hey, you just used my line. We will see. I like that line.
No, yeah, that's where I got it from. So.
Yeah, I know exactly. But we will see. So we will see for so long. Of course, we've been saying it for 20 years, but this is where we actually are now. We are viewed by many people as a playoff contending team. I wouldn't say Super Bowl contending team yet until we prove some people, and then they're saying, okay, this team's winning. But people are mentioning us when they're saying possible playoff contending teams. The Dolphins are almost always brought up that they're more or less expected to make the playoffs. So now the pressure's on them, man. Like I say, we said it to top this show. We're almost at the end of the show now. But
yes,
the no excuse season for the Miami Dolphins. They just got to go in, fins up, just like all the fans are, and they're going to have to start kicking butt, taking names, and, just moving on 1 week to week. I know it's cliche and it's boring to say, and it's what most of the players say each week. Well, that's 1 week. We're 1-0 this week. Well, we were 0-1 this week. Now it's time to get to 1-0 this week. So because that's how they always talk. They look at it like each game is a whole new season. Like you're 1-0 or whatever it may be. And then when you win, then you're only 1-0 again. And if you lose, you're just 0-1 for that day. And then you get ready to be 1-0 again. So that's how you have to take it,
Absolutely.
And that's it. Because if you start looking ahead, you're going to lose almost every game you play in the NFL. If you're saying,
it's one day at a time, one game at a time, right?
Yeah.
One game at a time. But I want to make mention, since you were talking that about the winning games and the Super Bowl and all that stuff. And I'm talking to the folks in chat primarily. Right. If you haven't gone on Netflix and watched the show Quarterback, you've got to watch it. It was created, I believe, by Peyton Manning.
Yeah, he's a producer of it. Yeah,
he's the producer of it, Peyton Manning. It's a realistic. I mean, it is. It's real day by day life.
I'm enjoying it. I'm saying,
it's a real day to day life.
I have to say, because as I told you, my wife and my son, my younger son,
I've seen the whole thing already. Yeah,
I know you have. But you binge watched it within 2 days. I know. It's only 8
great.
episodes.
It's a day. Right. I've seen them all in like 2 days, but it's a day by day.
Tomorrow night.
You need to, man. It's a day by day in the life of 3 quarterbacks: Marcus Mariota, Patrick Mahomes, and Kirk Cousins. You got to watch it. I mean, it's amazing. It's amazing what these quarterbacks go through on a daily basis, not only in their real life, in their life, with their family life. They invite you in and you're able to see their family life and you're able to see, them in the training room, the training they go through, the actual hits in the games. I mean, it's amazing.
No, it is a very good show, and this is a full confession. I didn't think I was going to like it because it's not Miami Dolphins related, but I'm liking it, and it's really good so far, 4 episodes in. And you know what the funny thing is, and everyone here is going to probably be surprised, I've never watched one episode of Hard Knocks. Even when the Dolphins were on it, I didn't watch Hard Knocks because that's normally not my type of thing. I'm like, oh, whatever. And I haven't had HBO because it's part of our HOA package. And I think that's but I've just never even bothered watching Hard Knocks, especially when it's not the Dolphins And then when it was the Dolphins, I don't think I had HBO back then.
This is better than Hard Knocks. This is better.
No, that's what I hear. But Hard Knocks to me is just kind of jump the shark from what I hear. That people that do like it, it's like the same thing over and over, just different year. But this one, I liked it. I like this so far, and I'm surprisingly.
Yeah, this is more. Yeah, this is more personal. You know, they're getting into the folks' life.
They let you into their houses,
their children, their houses, the pain they go through on a daily basis. I mean, you guys have to really see it to get the full, the full understanding of what these guys, professional athletes, go
through.
And
I agree. Let me chime in on what Moya said. Yes, me and my wife and my son are all looking at each other like, what the heck? And it's because they showed like Kirk Cousins, basically. They all play, but they really focus on Kirk Cousins and all those names and how he has to remember all the plays. It's just like, it's funny on that one, though, when he said, he admitted, he goes, oh, as you can see, I had a brain fart. I forgot. And he goes, and whatever. And they go and score a touchdown on it. And then whatever. So,
they're just playing sandlot football at that point.
Because a lot of that, like, we just take for granted. We know they put in a lot of work, and we know, but those you see, like, just even from the mental part of it, the physical part of it, it's just really it's a really good show. And, like Patrick Holmes having enough money to, make 1 million mattresses to sleep on made of his money, but yet he still goes out there and he busts his butt, does extra training in the morning before he even hits the facility. It's crazy, he just
and the studying they do.
Oh no, the studying, I know. I mean, all their own time at home, they're studying him. They showed Kirk Cousins with like these brave links, like he connected to his head to help.
It's just interesting.
I know it is. Man. It's really good.
You guys got to watch it.
I don't want to give too much away to spoil it, but it's good stuff. I'm only 4 episodes in, so don't spoil the rest for me, Steve. So, but it's good.
No, I won't. I won't. Well, we got to go, Rob. We got to go. But it's been a joy to do the show. Heck, it's been a joy to do this show. We've been doing it now since September of last year. Yeah. So we're almost at a year now, Rob. We're going to have a year anniversary.
We're coming close to a year.
Yes, sir. So, and this show tonight was great as always. I appreciate you coming on as the guest host again. You do a great job. Like I say, I'm going to repeat this over and over and over. You reel me in a lot, and what I forget, you bring up, and we just bounce off each other.
No, it's been perfect. Have a good chemistry. We're almost on the same page on all the topics. That happens every so often, but then some nights we don't. But that's what makes it Real Talk Fins Talk. So. It's and it's really good. And oh wow, we're talking about Real Talk Fins Talk. Make sure you tackle that subscribe button and throw a laser pass at the thumbs up, which I like to call the fins up button, but here on YouTube it's a thumbs up. Hey, now all the things go to you, Moya, and all you guys that come in here. We couldn't do it if it wasn't for you guys coming in. There'd be no reason to do it. So
is Fast Break, Bobby? I hope you're in the background there. Is Fast Break following the show tonight?
Yeah, it is.
It is. So make sure if you guys are in the
title of the episode, but they are following it up. I saw it when I went to their live.
Yeah, make sure you catch Fast Break with Alex and Bobby, and I guess they have some other folks on there as well. They talk basketball, Miami Heat, and if you enjoy that, please tune into that. That's immediately, or is it on at 8:30?
Oh my God. Don't put me on the spot. Right? It's on soon. How about that? Yeah, I think it's on at 8:30
it's on
or 9,
soon,
whatever. It's coming soon. Just be ready for watch it. They all talk good stuff.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
I'm going to miss the beginning of it because I got to go do all the fun stuff now. But that.
Yeah, me too. Me too.
Yeah, all the errands I got to do. But I'm going to miss the beginning of the show. But I join for sure at some point. So anyway, Steve, if you have nothing else, I can close out the show for you.
Absolutely. But I want to make sure everybody remembers, Rob.
Wait, hold on. Wait. Give me 1 second so we don't scream. I don't want to scream too long. Okay, now say it.
Okay. Are you ready, Rob?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Are you sure?
I'm sure.
Okay. Remember, Dolphins number one, baby.
Fins up.
Dolphins number one.